In modern naval warfare, power is no longer measured by fleet size. It is measured by the ability to stay present without detection and to apply pressure before war begins. As China expands its navy beyond numerical competition, the United States is forced to change the game, and Orca is the answer to that limitation. Who can see first and strike without being seen? As China's navy expands at an unprecedented pace, Washington understands one fundamental reality. The United States cannot compete by numbers alone. The gap in shipbuilding capacity is structural, and attempting to mirror an opponent's fleet size leads only to strategic paralysis. From that gap, a silent hunter emerged. Orca, a large unmanned underwater vehicle developed by Boeing, is not designed to replace nuclear submarines, but to expand undersea power in a fundamentally different way. Instead of placing sailors in high-risk environments, the United States deliberately shifts risk onto the adversary. Orca is not a weapon of spectacle. It is a tool of patience, persistent presence, long-endurance surveillance, and sustained pressure. In an increasingly tense Indo-Pacific, where a single miscalculation could trigger uncontrollable escalation, the ability to remain present without being detected becomes a decisive strategic advantage. The United States understands that true power lies not only in firepower, but in controlling the tempo of conflict. Orca is designed for long-duration autonomous operations, taking on the most dangerous missions such as reconnaissance, mine warfare, and continuous psychological pressure, without overt displays of force. This marks a clear shift in thinking, from direct confrontation toward gradually exhausting the opponent over time. In this framework, Orca functions not as a lone weapon, but as part of a broader ecosystem that integrates intelligence, communications, navigation, electronic warfare, and doctrine. Victory in future conflicts will not belong to the loudest or the most visible force, but to the side that understands the battle space more deeply, moves more quietly, and shapes events before the first shot is ever fired.
While Orca's physical presence is impressive, its true significance lies in how it changes the logic of undersea warfare. Traditional naval power has always been constrained by human endurance, crew safety, and political cost. Every submarine mission carries the weight of human lives, and every loss risks escalation far beyond the tactical level. Orca breaks that equation. By removing the crew, the United States gains freedom of action in environments that would otherwise be considered too dangerous, too politically sensitive, or too costly to contest. This shift is especially critical in the Western Pacific, where geography compresses reaction time and magnifies risk. Narrow straits, shallow waters, dense sensor networks, and contested choke points mean that manned platforms face increasing exposure. Orca is designed to operate inside these high-risk zones, not as a replacement for nuclear submarines, but as a force multiplier that expands undersea presence without triggering the same strategic thresholds. Persistence is Orca's greatest weapon. Unlike crewed submarines that must eventually rotate personnel and return to port, Orca can remain on station for weeks or even months. It can quietly map the seabed, monitor adversary movements, and prepare the battle space long before a crisis turns into open conflict. This continuous presence creates uncertainty for the opponent, forcing them to assume they are always being watched, tracked, or targeted. In modern deterrence, uncertainty is power. Orca does not need to fire a weapon to influence enemy behavior. Its mere existence complicates planning, stretches defensive resources, and increases psychological pressure. Adversaries must decide whether to spend expensive missiles and sensors on a platform that costs a fraction of a traditional submarine, or risk allowing it to operate freely in sensitive areas. Ultimately, Orca reflects a broader American approach to future conflict. Shape the environment early, impose dilemmas on the opponent, and preserve escalation control. It is not designed to win wars alone, but to make wars harder, costlier, and less predictable for anyone who considers initiating them. Beyond persistence and presence, Orca's true value emerges in how it reshapes cost and risk calculations at sea. Modern naval conflict is no longer defined solely by firepower, but by how efficiently a force can trade cost for effect. A single nuclear submarine represents billions of dollars, decades of training, and irreplaceable human expertise. Losing one is not just a tactical setback, but a strategic shock. Orca changes that balance by introducing a platform that is expendable by design, yet strategically disruptive in effect. This alters adversary behavior long before any shots are fired. Commanders must now account for a layer of undersea activity that is difficult to detect, difficult to attribute, and relatively cheap to deploy at scale. Orca can be used to probe defenses, test sensor coverage, and expose weaknesses without risking escalation tied to human casualties. Each mission forces the opponent to react, spend resources, and reveal capabilities, even if no engagement occurs. In a crisis scenario around Taiwan or key maritime choke points, Orca enables the United States to contest contested waters earlier and more quietly. It can lay mines, monitor transit routes, or shadow hostile naval movements while remaining below the political threshold that normally constrains manned operations. This capability supports a strategy of shaping the battle space before conflict, rather than reacting after it begins. Equally important is Orca's role within a broader undersea ecosystem. It is not intended to operate alone, but to work alongside crewed submarines, surface ships, satellites, and other unmanned systems. Data collected by Orca can cue manned platforms, extend sensor coverage, and create a layered undersea network that multiplies effectiveness without multiplying risk. In this sense, Orca is less a weapon than a strategic instrument. It embodies a shift away from singular, high-value platforms toward distributed, resilient forces. By spreading capability across many nodes, the United States reduces vulnerability while increasing operational flexibility. This is how undersea dominance is preserved in an era where transparency, speed, and attrition increasingly define modern warfare. Despite its advantages, Orca is not a miracle weapon, and its deployment exposes a deeper reality about modern naval warfare. Technology alone does not guarantee dominance. What matters is how that technology is integrated into doctrine, logistics, and strategic intent. Orca's greatest strength lies in how it forces adversaries to rethink certainty under the sea. Every unexplained sonar contact, every disrupted sensor line, every silent gap in situational awareness introduces doubt. And in military planning, doubt is a powerful weapon. For decades, undersea warfare favored platforms that were few in number, but extraordinarily capable. This created a fragile equilibrium, where each asset carried immense strategic weight. Orca disrupts this logic by introducing mass at a lower cost. It allows commanders to accept loss, trade space for time, and apply pressure continuously rather than decisively in a single moment. This favors endurance over shock, erosion over confrontation. In practical terms, Orca complicates any attempt at sea control or blockade operations. An opponent must now assume that critical routes, ports, and choke points may already be monitored, mined, or shadowed before hostilities are declared. Clearing these threats consumes time, exposes forces, and diverts attention from offensive operations. Even if Orca never fires a weapon, its presence reshapes the operational environment. There is also a psychological dimension. Crewed submarines operate in silence, but Orca operates in ambiguity. Its missions may remain undisclosed, its paths uncertain, and its intentions unclear. This ambiguity forces adversaries to overreact or remain cautious, slowing decision-making at precisely the moments when speed matters most. Over time, this constant pressure degrades confidence and initiative. Ultimately, Orca represents a shift from dominance through superiority to dominance through persistence. It is not about winning a decisive naval battle in a single day, but about making sustained operations increasingly costly and uncertain for the opponent. In the Indo-Pacific, where geography favors the defender and escalation risks are high, this approach aligns closely with long-term strategic stability. Orca's true strategic value becomes clearer when viewed through the lens of escalation control. In modern great power competition, the most dangerous moments are not full-scale wars, but the gray zones in between. Actions that fall below the threshold of open conflict still shape outcomes, shift perceptions, and alter deterrence balances. Orca is designed precisely for this space. Unlike traditional naval assets, Orca can be deployed quietly, persistently, and reversibly. Its missions do not require public announcements, visible force posture changes, or immediate political signaling. This allows decision-makers to apply pressure without forcing the opponent into a binary choice between submission and escalation. In strategic terms, Orca expands the menu of options available to commanders and civilian leaders alike. This capability is especially relevant around Taiwan and the first island chain. The geography favors denial rather than control. Narrow straits, shallow waters, and dense sensor environments reward systems that can remain hidden while gathering information or shaping the battle space in advance. Orca enables exactly that. It allows the United States to contest undersea access, complicate amphibious planning, and impose uncertainty long before the first missile is launched. There is also a logistical dimension. Crewed submarines are among the most complex and maintenance-intensive platforms in any navy. Their availability is constrained not only by cost, but by training pipelines and crew endurance. Orca, by contrast, can be produced faster, deployed longer, and rotated with fewer constraints. This does not replace nuclear submarines, but it amplifies their effectiveness by freeing them to focus on missions that only humans can perform. Over time, this layered approach reshapes deterrence. An adversary is no longer facing a small number of exquisite platforms, but a distributed undersea ecosystem. Some nodes observe, others deny access. Others simply exist to be unpredictable. Together, they create a strategic environment where planning becomes slower, riskier, and more expensive. In this sense, Orca is not a weapon designed to win battles. It is a system designed to shape behavior. By increasing uncertainty and reducing confidence, it seeks to prevent conflict rather than provoke it. That is the quiet paradox of modern deterrence. The most effective tools are often the ones that are never seen, never fired, and never publicly acknowledged. When viewed as a whole, Orca signals a deeper shift in how the United States thinks about naval power in the 21st century. The objective is no longer absolute control of the sea, but selective denial at decisive moments. Rather than dominating everywhere, the goal is to make specific actions by an adversary too costly, too risky, or too uncertain to attempt. Orca fits precisely into this logic. In a potential Taiwan scenario, time is the most critical variable. Any delay imposed on an invading force increases diplomatic options, mobilization capacity, and alliance coordination. Orca contributes to this by slowing planning cycles before combat even begins. An adversary must assume that routes may be mined, sensors compromised, or movements tracked long before surface forces appear. This forces caution, hesitation, and redundancy, all of which buy time. Equally important is cost asymmetry. Orca reverses a traditional disadvantage faced by technologically advanced militaries, the problem of losing expensive platforms to cheap countermeasures. By fielding a system that is relatively affordable, unmanned, and expendable, the United States shifts the burden back onto the opponent. Every effort to detect, track, or destroy Orca consumes resources that may cost far more than the system itself. Over time, this imbalance erodes the economic logic of aggression. Orca also reinforces alliance strategy. Information gathered by unmanned systems can be shared rapidly across partner networks, enhancing collective situational awareness. This strengthens deterrence not through unilateral dominance, but through integration. In a coalition environment, Orca becomes a force multiplier that links sensors, shooters, and decision-makers across national boundaries. Ultimately, Orca reflects a sober recognition of reality. The future of naval warfare will be crowded, contested, and unforgiving. No single platform will decide outcomes. Victory will belong to those who combine technology, doctrine, geography, and time into a coherent system. Orca is one piece of that system, not decisive on its own, but powerful when integrated correctly. This is the essence of modern deterrence, not the promise of overwhelming force, but the certainty of unacceptable cost. And in that calculus, silence under the sea may matter more than firepower on the surface. Looking forward, the significance of Orca goes far beyond a single platform or program. It represents a shift in how power is generated, preserved, and projected in an era where resources are finite and adversaries are increasingly capable. The United States is no longer betting on dominance through scale alone, but on adaptability through systems. Orca does not replace aircraft carriers, destroyers, or nuclear submarines. Instead, it changes the environment in which those assets must operate. By adding persistent, unmanned presence beneath the surface, Orca complicates every operational assumption an adversary makes. Routes are no longer predictable. Safe zones no longer exist. Even peacetime movement becomes an exercise in uncertainty. This uncertainty is not accidental, it is deliberate deterrence. When an opponent cannot be sure where the threat is, when it might appear, or how many systems are already in place, decision-making slows, risk tolerance drops, strategic confidence erodes. In modern conflict, this psychological effect can be as decisive as physical destruction. There is also a deeper lesson here about the future of warfare. Technological advantage does not come from chasing the most complex or expensive weapon, but from building tools that fit doctrine, geography, and timing. Orca succeeds not because it is revolutionary in isolation, but because it integrates smoothly into a broader ecosystem of sensors, networks, and allied forces. Ultimately, Orca reminds us that modern war is not won by spectacle. It is won by preparation, by patience, and by the quiet ability to shape the battlefield long before the first shot is fired. Power today is measured less by what is visible and more by what remains hidden until it is too late. And that is why, beneath the waves, silence has become one of the most powerful weapons of all. Looking back at the entire story of Orca, the most important factor is not its size, technology, or level of autonomy. What truly matters is the mindset behind it. The United States understands that in a prolonged competition, where the opponent holds advantages in production capacity and numbers, victory does not come from trying to catch up at all costs, but from forcing the adversary to play on a different board. Orca is how the United States changes the rules beneath the sea. It does not need to fire the first shot. Its mere existence creates pressure. Its presence alone forces the opponent to disperse forces, raise defensive costs, and operate under constant uncertainty. This is the power of silent deterrence, a force that does not need to be announced to be effective. In future warfare, systems like Orca will not operate in isolation. They will be connected to satellites, unmanned aircraft, crewed submarines, and joint command networks. The battlefield will no longer be confined to a single domain. Sea, space, air, and information will merge into a unified ecosystem where the side that understands and operates it better gains the initiative. Orca also reflects an irreversible trend, reducing the role of humans in the most dangerous frontline environments. Not because humans are incapable, but because human life is an irreplaceable strategic asset. When risk is transferred to unmanned systems, military decisions become more flexible, more sustainable, and less constrained by domestic political pressure. The final lesson here is not about a robotic submarine. It is about how great powers adapt to their own limits. Those who understand their weaknesses best are the ones who know how to turn them into advantages. Orca does not give the United States more ships than China, but it makes every opposing ship pay a higher price simply to survive. And in a competition that may last for decades, sometimes that is enough to preserve the balance. The United States understands one fundamental reality. It cannot compete with China in shipbuilding numbers. When an adversary holds a production advantage, the correct response is not spending money to count hulls, but changing the rules of the game. True power does not lie in what is loudest on the surface. Future warfare is a contest of ecosystems, intelligence, navigation, communications, electronic warfare, doctrine, and production. Weapons are only pieces of the puzzle. Whoever assembles the full picture wins. Orca was born from that very gap, a silent hunter expanding undersea power without paying the price in human lives. That is the core strategic mindset. Reduce risk to your people, increase risk for your opponent. And that is the harsh truth of war. Victory does not belong to the newest system, but to the right one, right target, right timing, right doctrine. If you found this video valuable, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss future episodes. I'm High. Thank you sincerely for watching until the end. See you next time.